I am really excited today because I'm actually getting to do two things. One is to introduce you to our interim athletic director, Joylyn Brown, who's joined us essentially as of the end of today. Joylyn will be taking over the reins of athletic director, and even more exciting is welcoming Clint Sargent as our head basketball coach, and I could not think of a better individual to take the reins of this basketball team. Clint, you and your family are Raider family, and we are so excited to watch what you do moving forward. And I explained to the kids they're now the first family of Wright State basketball, and I know the boys are very excited to have you. So I am thrilled. And look forward to working with you moving forward. But I'd like to introduce you to Joylyn Brown, our new interim AD.
Thank you so much, Sue. Thank you for your support. These mics are really low. That's not gonna work for you. Is that better? No, not so much. Okay, I'm just gonna talk really loud. That's nothing new for me. So, thank you, Sue, so much for being here. Thank you for your support always, not only of our men's basketball program, but our entire athletics department. I look forward to working with you and collaborating with you in this position. Before I start talking about Clint, there is one person I'm going to mention because he's been very important to me for the last several years, and that's Bob Grant. Today is Bob's last official day, and he's going out with a bang, but I just want to thank you for your belief in me, your guidance with me over the last 10 years, and everything that you've done for the athletic department and for so many student athletes who've come through the program. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. So we all met Clint 8 years ago when he joined our staff and came with Coach Nagy. And over those 8 years, Coach Nagy brought us unprecedented success, and he has decided to move on. So we're going to talk about Clint and how he is going to take over the program and what he's going to do for us. So over those 8 years, one thing became very clear to me. Actually, two things became clear to me about Clint. The first thing was his family is everything to him. He's a very loyal person. He's a very thoughtful person, and he wants to make sure people are taken care of, whether it be his family or his student athletes or his colleagues. And so I really, really appreciated that. And getting to know, when they came here, actually, it was the two of them and Gracie. And now there are a few additions to the family. There are 4 altogether. Wasn't that great, Gracie, when it was only you? That's the best. So they came, it was only Gracie. Now they have 4 children total. Their family has grown just as we have watched his career grow. The second thing that I'm sure about getting to know their family more is that Jill is the best basketball player in the family. If anybody was wondering, you can ask her all about it afterwards, but I do think Gracie might be catching up very quickly. So, but let's talk more about Clint. This week has been a bit of a whirlwind, as you can imagine. I said a couple times this week, life comes at you fast, and this was such a great example of that. So we found out Tuesday night that there may be a change. We got together and talked about what we were going to do if there was that change, and there really was not a question that the direction we wanted to go was with Coach Clint Sargent. He has proven himself over the years. We know that he has the knowledge that we need. We know that he can think outside of the box. He's not afraid to try new things. He is excited to be here, and we're thrilled that he's here as well. So once that happened, things started moving pretty quickly, like I said. When we got together with Clint, the very first question that he had for us about all of this is, what about my players? You were the first thing that he said. I need to make sure my players are taken care of. I need to make sure my players know that I've got them, that I care about them, that everything is going to be fine. And I want them to stay right here. And I think today is a great testament because here they are. And they are as excited, I think, as everyone else, correct? So, in fact, I saw Alex in the gym the other day shooting around, and it was right when Clint's press release came out. And so I took my phone in there with the graphic on it of Clint, and I showed it to him, and he just got this huge smile on his face, and that's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know, and that's all I needed to see. So just more votes of confidence along the way. Everyone we talk to who knows Clint at all tells us you're making an excellent choice. So it's always nice to have that reinforcement. We knew that going in, but it's nice to hear from other people as well. One other thing about Clint, when we met to discuss kind of terms and what we were going to do and where we were going to go, his first thing to me was, I need to take care of my assistant coaches. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about his family. I'm sure it was. It wasn't about perks, benefits. It was, what can I do for my assistant coaches? I want them to stay and I want to take care of them. So I think, again, that reinforces the type of man that Clint is. He's putting others first. He wants to serve others as well as taking care of himself. So I thought that was really important. One thing that happened yesterday when we were talking as well, it was very busy, hectic. We were agonizing over the details. So it was Clint and I in the office across the table going back and forth. And finally I just stopped and I said, Clint, take a second. I said, you are a Division I head coach at an amazing university, and you've worked your whole life for this. And here we are. So let's enjoy it for 1 second. So we took a deep breath. We sat there for a second. We high-fived, and then we kept on working, because that's what Clint does. He's going to take that attention for himself maybe for a half a second, and then he's going to get right back to work. So I'm really excited about that. Like I said, Coach Nagy set up a great foundation. So that foundation has been set, but I think that Clint is going to take that to new heights with the way that he cares for his student athletes. I think the way that he recruits and the way his coaches are going to all work together. I see lots of success ahead of us, and we are very, very confident in Clint. So before I bring Clint up, one more thing I wanted to make sure. I was thinking about the gift that I should give you, and I thought, you have a lot of gear already. I mean, you've been here a little bit, probably have enough jerseys too from your career. So I just wanted to get him something so that everyone would know exactly who he is and that there were no questions. So I've got this Clint Sargent, head men's basketball coach, signed for his door in his office. So Clint, come on up.
You did great. First course of action here, I'd like this to feel kind of like a huddle. Can you guys hear me all right? Do you need to scoot in? You guys hear me all right? You're good? Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
We just met with our players here before this, and a couple things I had said to them before we get into this press conference is, one, I don't want this to be or feel cookie cutter. I've been in this profession 10 plus years. I've watched many of these moments, and I understand what's being evaluated in the moment. And I understand what you guys are looking for in me to catch from me, and I want that to be me. I'll get to so many things, but I want you guys to understand this is going to be authentic. I have a few notes. Like I told our players, I'm going to come from the heart and be as real and as transparent as I can. This next part, the thank yous, is truly very special to me, because this part is usually, in what I've seen, transactional. It's a business conversation when you go down the list of thank yous. And for me, this is relational. And it speaks to our leadership. It speaks to my 8 years here and how I've been treated. So this next part for me is very important and very special. President Edwards, to you and your husband, Greg, thank you. Thank you for being present. Thank you for being decisive and leading well and being around. You have allowed me to now take action in a pivotal time. College athletics, it is fluid, a lot of decision. It is not easy to be these kids right now. So thank you for your leadership. Joy Lynn, you've been crushing it. You've been steady for me. Thank you. Mark, thank you. I want to be intentional with thanking spouses, because I know, and I'll get to my wife here soon, I know if you're going to lead, a lot of that starts at home. And before I get to my family, I certainly want to take the time to address Bob Grant, Kim Grant. You have, BG, given me a very healthy and appropriate picture of a leader and an administrator. So many times you come in as a coach, and so much of this is transactional. You're understanding, okay, where am I at? You got to get close to the AD, this, that, and the other. I came in when I was young, and I had no idea what I was doing. And BG, you showed me how to do this authentically. Kim, where are you? Where's Kim? You've shown, you shown my wife and me how to be leaders of a community and do it in a way where, you know what, your kids love you, the student athletes love you, and that's not because you've said this, that, and the other. It's because I've caught it from you. So thank you. I was going to bring my wife up at this point, but she's busy. This is the first thing I would like to say in terms of who I am and the vision we have. And the question I would have if I'm you guys or our fans is how's the program going to be ran? And I would say, in order to step into this position, can you lead? Can you lead? How will you lead? And I would say these are my three things. I'm going to love the Lord. Okay, I am going to love my wife. And even when my son is crying, I'm going to love my son. And I know, fellas, if I do that appropriately, my cup will overflow, and I'll love our players. Because with the climate of college athletics and everything that's from NIL to the transfer portal, I am passionate about it, and we will embrace it. But it has to be done within the concept of a players first program. And what does that mean? That can be a catchy culture word, a coach's word, but to me, it's what it has to be. They have to be involved. They have equity in this place. They need to know what's going on. And from what the leadership here has shown me, you need to empower them. You need to trust an honest conversation. And with this right here, this right here, and that I hear him. This speaks louder than any words I could give you guys. Or you guys. You've given me this opportunity. Last night and these last 48 hours have been so special to me because I know you guys are at my back. And you guys have uplifted me into this position. And I will do everything in terms of putting the right people around you first, because I know that's most important. And all the quiet hours, all the mundane hours, we are going to attack it with some joy and fun. Because we know it's hard. We know hanging banners are very hard, but I think we can pursue it with a type of passion and togetherness. And for this room to understand and our fans to understand, this speaks for me. It'll speak for our staff. It speaks for our president, Mr. Sample, BG, Joy Lynn. The foundation is set here, and I'm thrilled to kind of carry the torch. But I'm just a small part of it, and I understand that. I spent a lot of my time last night calling former players and sharing with them the same thought. This is their program. It's a player's program. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to lead the program. There has to be boundaries. I'm going to discipline. I'm going to run it in the way I know my family needs me to lead the family. But today and age, the players have to be equipped. And it's been done at a high level here, and I look forward to continue that. And my mission and plan for the portal and NIL is we're going to attack it. And we're going to do it within a player relationship. We're not going to compromise the kids that are here. We're not going to compromise the parents that are here. But the parents and the kids are going to understand we'll communicate through our decisions. And lastly, there's so many administrators here. I can't get to all of them. But Chris Bethel, Jay Frank, your guys' story, there's a lot behind the scenes here, Joe, that have poured into Wright State. And I understand now, as your head men's basketball coach, I get to be uplifted in your guys' stories and what you do for us in men's basketball, because we get the lion's share. We will honor you in how we do that. Last thing, Coach Nagy, I will say this, there's a lot of things being with him and played for him, and there's a lot of ways we can unpack this, but the main thing I would just say the ultimate measure of a man, a coach, a leader is I would say this: did you leave it better than you found it? And to that, I think it's pretty clear. And to BG, I think to that it's pretty clear. So thank you guys for being here. The past 48 hours has been incredibly slow for me. And that's not hyperbole. That is because, again, our leadership, I've just been equipped to do this properly, and with their backing, and the more confidence I got, it just became slower and slower and slower. I would love to call out what we're doing with our staff, but I can't at the moment because their backing and their support has been incredible. So with that, are we opening up to questions? I would love to if you have any.
Clint, first, congratulations.
Thank you.
You mentioned it a little bit with Scott picking up his book. What would you say you've taken from him as well as learning some of your own things as well as you take them?
Yeah, well, I think he didn't hide anything from me. The good, the bad, he let me in. He didn't close me off to how hard it is. Any decision making, he's very authentic. You can see it in how he coaches. And I always think that you can, the way he coaches and the way he coaches his players, you will, it's sink or swim. It's sink or swim. So I'm so appreciative of just the trust that he's given me and the honest way that he's gone about it.
Well, congratulations on the book. You mentioned how for you personally the last 48 hours have been slow from your perspective. Has there been any major obstacle for you to navigate because of how much has happened in the last couple of days?
I know this is going to sound crazy, but it hasn't. And this is the God honest truth. The biggest obstacle I've had is trying to figure out what to wear to this thing. And I told you guys that earlier. I was in, I don't even remember the department store. This was the biggest obstacle. And that, again, our leadership took decisive action. They empowered me. I then, in return, empowered our staff. We empowered each other, and the show goes on. It can be that simple when it's a healthy product behind the scenes, and this is healthy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It says these last 48 hours have gone slow, but I guess to outsiders, it seems like it's been a whirlwind.
Yep.
How did you hear about Coach Nagy leaving, and when did it dawn on you that you might be the next guy?
Well, he was up front as soon as and I can't get into the specifics of all of it, but it happened fast. And his communication was great, honest. And I keep circling back to this. BG, President Edwards, Joy Lynn, there was just decisive action for me. And then from there, I just feel like, and I talk to our players about this all the time, I feel like I'm adequate to step into this more from the hard that I've been through and some of that adversity that I've faced. And I just felt like the timing for coach, for myself, for our players, for our program was complete divine intervention. And I just had to step into it. So I didn't feel like in any conversation I was forcing it. It all felt incredibly natural. And I know what that sounds like, but that's just what it's been. And as I stand before you guys, this feels right to me.
Clint, there's obviously the interesting connection back to SDSU. Obviously, you played there. Joe was a great player there as well. Coach Nagy coached there as well. Have you reflected at all on kind of the full circle moment of kind of all these things connecting as well?
Yeah, it just goes so fast. And you know, meet my wife in the gym, Frost Arena up in Brookings, South Dakota. Playing professionally, having Grace Linan in Brookings, and now we're here being introduced as the head coach. It's a lot to take in, but I'm incredibly thankful, and I just keep looking back, and the thing that I see that has just been a constant are the great people I have around me. So as I stand here before you, it's just, I look back and it's just complete gratitude for so many of the players that have formed me into the coach I am, so many of my former coaches that I lean on in the hard moments that have formed me into your next head coach. Yeah.
40-year season ticket holder.
Awesome.
So I can look back on all the coaches and define their coaching strategy and just how it played out. What's going to be your coaching strategy?
Yeah, my coaching strategy will be he was as collaborative and open-minded and empowering to his players and his coaches. Because I believe to be a great coach, it starts with how can you connect and communicate with your players. And I've told some of these guys what I would like to be great at, and is when you have this expectation, I have this expectation, or that's relational in game, and that's not met. I want to be great in that area. And that takes a lot. And the game is an imperfect, chaotic game. And I just think that has to be the fundamental piece to it. Obviously, I've been exposed to a lot of winning. I've been exposed to a lot of great offense. I've been exposed to a lot of great recruiting. But at the end of the day, we know the defensive identity and the rebounding, that starts with your personnel, but that starts with being connected. And these men making this decision is a giant step forward in that. So that was kind of a lot at you, but that's who I want to be. 40 years, thank you. 41? 43. I'm saying next year. Okay, good. That was binding. Okay.
But of course, many of the conversations we might have had with some of the players already, maybe probably feel free to disclose what any of the talks have been with them about. Obviously, we saw Alex, heard about Alex sharing his excitement for you, and knowing that trust that and faith that these guys are going to have with their coach, they're here to stay as well. Have there been any conversations?
Yeah, it's everything. It was the first priority. It was my first thought, along with our staff, is how do we come alongside these guys? And the great thing is, the relationship was there. If I have to persuade these guys to stay here, other than being honest with them, they're not here. And that again is why it's been slow, is the word I'll use, because every conversation I step into with these young men, they know, and I know. And when I talk with their parents, it's the same thing. There's a foundation there, and I want to maintain that and keep that. And I would just say that the young people in college athletics is just really under attack of losing that piece to it. And I can't say it enough. NIL is a good thing. The portal can be a good thing, but it can't compromise relationship and communication and the integrity of your program.
Knowing the tradition that Scott had at Clint State and he brought it here to Wright State, will there be a barefoot game for you? Will you designate a barefoot game?
Yeah, that's a good question. Probably not. That Samaritan's Fee is near and dear to his family. But again, just his heart for that and to be able to put himself out there. I'll take that with me, but I probably won't be barefoot. Right? All right. Hey, everybody, thank you for being here. And guys, thank you. All right.